All right, all right. We are live in the house for another Tuesday night, November 23rd, 2021. We're almost at the end of 2021. Hopefully, your year has been going as awesome as ours has. And there's always the ups and downs. But hey, listen, that's what business is all about. That's what marketing is all about. And as we were here to talk about one of the biggest, I guess, times of the year. And we're right into Black Friday. I guess this is the week of Black Friday. And tonight we're going to talk about discounts, yes or no, nay, yay, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be an awesome broadcast, as always. It always is an awesome broadcast as I bring in my good friend Scott Vogel in the house. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Joey. Thank you. And what a great topic. And there's a part of me that thinks that this topic was chosen just for me.
It is.
I know.
Yes. Well, because we come at this from two different angles, and I
Yeah.
think that it'll just it'll open a lot of eyes and just give two different perspectives, because I know that a lot of people have this notion of discounting and all these big things, and just want to talk about it. And yeah, let's bring it to the tables. Let's say hi to Dan. He's here. Good to
Hello,
see you,
Dan.
Dan.
Good to see you
Um,
again.
and listening to Kashmir live at the Celebration Day event, 60 plus, and they could still rock it out. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's what life is all about. It's so true.
Yep.
So true. Thank you for being here. If you're here live, if you can let us know, hashtag live, or if you're on the replay, the hashtag replay, let us know. And maybe just give us a thumbs up or a heart or something, whatever platform you're watching this on, whatever it is that says, hey, you guys are doing all right. We'd appreciate that. That would be very cool. We are broadcasting on all the platforms on Facebook. Thank you very much, Mark. We are also broadcasting in the LinkedIn's. Hello, LinkedIn, the YouTubes. Welcome, YouTube. And of course, Twitter. And we are live. And tonight we're talking all about discounts. Hey, John, good to see you. Thanks for being here live, my friend. Let's get right into it, bro. Black Friday's here. That's all I've been getting in the last month and a half is discount sales and getting $2 million worth of product for 20 bucks. And let's let's talk about it. So let's start out with, what are your feelings on discounting and in this whole realm of what we're doing online?
Overall, I feel it depends on what you're selling, who your audience is, who's your dream client, what's your product, what are your offers. But I think as a general rule overall, I don't think discounting is a good idea. And of course, then somewhere in the broadcast, we're going to flip flop because I'm about to do a Black Friday special, which I've never done ever. And I'll explain why we're doing it. It wasn't like I woke up and said, oh, we got to discount our stuff, because it kind of flowed in from a standpoint of value, of programs, of coaching, of creating overall programs. No, I don't believe that we should be discounting. I believe, and again, Joey, you've always guided me in an amazing direction in what to read and listen to, and $100 million offers. I keep coming back to it. And if anybody has not gone to acquisitions.com, the guy has an incredible free training, which is based on his book. That's tremendous. And it talks all about this. And it's not about discounting. It's actually about starting very high and spending a lot of time delivering what you deliver, and then over time figuring out how do you deliver the same value and be able to deliver the product maybe at a different price point, with the ability to go find different ways to deliver the one-on-one personalization. So when it comes to copywriting, when it comes to building a whole project, it's not a discount. It's actually more of, I'm probably going to charge you more for that. For us, when it comes to playing and products and testing, and you and I had an interesting interaction today, and you continue to challenge me, and I love it. Because you're
These
like,
are good
okay,
challenges. Like, sometimes when people hear the word challenge, they think it's like a duel, and it's not. That's what it's for. You challenge
no,
somebody from a different perspective. And just to go off on a whole other tangent here, and I'll bring it back to you. I remember I was reading some notes, go figure,
yeah,
and
go figure.
a note came back up from Peter Drucker that was about the challenge or the disagreements in a group environment and stuff like that, right? And he said that when he got into into a room with his colleagues and said, and he says, "Okay, is everybody within agreement what we're going to do?" And they all said yes. He goes, "Great. That means we're going to have another meeting tomorrow because we just don't understand the problem well enough
Right.
because nobody disagreed." Anyway, coming back to you.
And again, Joey, the show last week, you challenged me, and you challenged me, and we challenge each other.
For
And
sure.
it's not. It's about being open enough to hear a different viewpoint. You and I do similar things. We write copy, we coach, we do that, and then we do different things. You do things that I don't do. I do things that you don't do, and the perspective is what it's about. And finding, we've talked about often having people you can talk to, having masterminds, having groups of people. That when I first started this whole Kajabi thing a few years back, we had a mastermind group, and one guy was a network marketer selling nutrition supplements. Another guy was doing online courses. Another gal was writing a book on bullying. And there was just such a diverse group of people. When you throw out an idea, the grandma who's doing a course on bullying because she's written books for the last 40 years, she comes up with something from a whole different lens.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, maybe I should think about testing it that way.
Yeah.
And of course, I say the word testing and use that with emphasis because it's all about testing. As a rule, no. When we first started our company, there's the JV Zoo and ClickBank and Warrior Forum and all those
Yeah.
marketplaces that were built and designed for one purpose, to get stuff for $11 and $19 and $22 and end up in this never-ending funnel of upsells and downsells. And my gosh, you got to scroll down to the bottom to find the thing, no thanks, or I just wanted the thing that I bought, leave me alone. And we decided we weren't going to do that. And like there's some there's some, what's the word I'm looking for? There's some, it's not, there are some people that disagree with what we do.
Critiques?
What?
Is it critique?
Critics, thank you.
Okay.
No, I kept coming up with critique, but no, it's critics. There are critics that are like, well, that's too expensive. I like, in comparison to what? Yeah, it's more expensive than that thing, but that thing is worthless. You can't compare.
But you see, okay, like, let me stop you right there because this is why we are talking about this, because that right there is a commodity. Somebody
Right.
is comparing you to another product based
Yep.
on price, and that is why I disagree with discounting.
Right.
It's like as soon as somebody can compare you based on price, you don't have a position anymore.
Well, you're exactly, because it's the race to the bottom. It's the race to the lowest price to put yourself out of business.
Right.
So you know that for the past year and a half, we've launched many things, and we do give a gift or a discount to our members who have given us a certain amount of money.
Yeah, for sure.
To the rest of the people, here's the price. We had a product we launched for $250 that originally the guy wanted to sell it for 25 bucks or give it away even. And I was like, no, there's value in it. We're going to add value to it. The same thing happened with the course we're going to launch in January. The value of the program, I mean, I could come up with any number. We talked about this. I can come up with a number and say, okay, the course is worth $597. Well, where'd that come from? Okay, the value of this. And now I can make it $597. I can make the value $997. I could make it $1997 or $29.97, depending on, hey, for $29.90, for $5,000, come hang out and spend a weekend. Well, that's worth $5,000. Or for 10 grand, come hang out for the weekend, bring your laptop, and we'll build your whole brand and write all your copy. Hell, that's worth 10,000. Well, the same program without all that stuff is a $597 program. It goes to the value of it. And I don't believe in commoditization. I don't believe in discount just for the sake of discounting. And then, of course, I'll disagree with myself in just a few minutes because of what we're about to do, actually what we started to do today.
Yeah.
But as a general rule, no, I don't believe in discounting. And you challenged me today, and my reply was, the second that I finished this Black Friday deal on this particular, we just happened to have been, it was not planned at all. What happened was, I think I told you, in our group, one of our creators saw a promotional video for Kaspersky. And she goes, I could make that in Fast Video Creator. She made a scene template. I saw it. My first thought was, I could use this for the course we're launching in January. And then Carvel, the developer business partner, he was like, let's do a Black Friday deal because we actually launched our music software today with the marketplace. And
Congrats.
we're like, okay, but here's the thing about that, Joey. The Black Friday deal that we created is not for our members. What it was is we want to get the software out there. What we decided to do was let them make a Black Friday offer to their people and get an affiliate commission to get the software out there, to just test things. That was the reason behind it. It wasn't just, well, my stuff is normally 500, but I'm discounting it just because. We had a reason behind it. And the second Sunday at midnight hits, the software is going back up to its price, and that's it. There's no more.
I get it. Like, and I want to make sure that when people are listening, that it's not that I don't ever gift or reduce or whatever it is, and there's just a different way of doing it for the way that I approach it. Not saying I'm right, not saying you're wrong or right or wrong. It's just another angle here. And but when I look at a Black Friday, like this wasn't meant to be a Black Friday thing, but we're talking about that right now. I know for a fact that there are certain programs that I have that I buy every single year, and I wait. I wait it out until I can get the least price. One is QuickBooks. Every year I'm buying QuickBooks, and I'm on Staples, Best Buy, waiting for that deal. And I always wait it out. Who's going to give me the best deal? I'm not loyal to anybody, and that's not a good thing. I'm loyal to QuickBooks, but I ain't loyal to anybody. And that's what I mean is these people are the companies or the stores are battling it out. Who's going to give you the best price? And there's multiple software that I do that with every single year, just as the software alone. And there's other things that I'll do that with. But I look at that and think, am I going to buy this if it wasn't on sale? Then no, I wouldn't. And that's not a good position, Scott.
No, it's not. And I'm in full agreement with you. I got into Kajabi 2-3 years ago because one of my buddies was like, hey, there's this Black Friday special. You can get Kajabi at this and that. And I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot. I didn't really need it. I had other things. It looked good. There are a lot of things you said about it. He and I were playing together. He was in the mastermind, and we were on the same trajectory where we're going. And it's like, yeah, great.
Yeah, we're talking about discount or not discount, and I'd love to hear some of your thoughts. We got some thoughts here. I want to bring them up on stage, which is amazing. Collie, so wonderful to be here. And discounts is a great topic, as I am constantly seeing those in my inbox right now. And well, if you want to be discounted, offer one right now. And well, if you want to be discounted, offer one. Did I read that right?
You read it correctly, Joey.
Okay.
It was, I think, the Google translator of your voice that kind of didn't flow.
Okay. John, my man, I believe you get what you pay for. Discount items are usually items that are on the way out. There's opportunity out there to take advantage of some circumstances, but many times it degrades the service provider's value. Nobody is going to start paying $100 for something that you just gave them $50 for, regardless of the time of year. Yes. And there's a lot of other reasons why people discounted. Scott just mentioned one of the reasons is to, push the software out, get it, get some legs behind it, things like that. There's all kinds of different ways of doing it. But when it comes to discounts, it is devaluing. For me, right away, it's devaluing your product. It's like saying, here's this thing that's worth $100 in your case, John, and you can get it for $50 today. And you just told me it's worth $100. So why am I not paying $100 for it? Like, why are you devaluing it right away? That to me is a big mistake. Anybody who is doing that, the better way to do it is to offer more value. So here's $100. This is worth $100, and I'm going to add on this other thing that is worth $50. And you're still paying the base price of whatever it is that you have, but you're adding on all these other things as a gift. You're not saying this, and it's kind of the reverse of the whole stack, if you really want to call it, Scott, right? Because they do the whole stack thingy. You're going to get this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this.
Yep.
but you only got to pay $20 today.
Right. Yep.
Whereas if you do it the other way, and this is my opinion, you don't have to agree with me. Anybody watching doesn't have to agree with me. But the way I look at it is, look, I'm worth $1,000. This thing's worth $1,000. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to throw in these other things that are worth $2,000. And so you're giving them the price right away. You're not doing the whole stack and then taking it away and go, but you only got to pay $20. They're already bought in at the $1,000. To me, that's a big difference in psychological of the buyer to say, yeah, he is worth $1,000 or that is worth $1,000. Oh, and you're also going to give me that stuff too. Holy crap.
Well, here's
what do you think?
I totally agree. And here's the piece of that I want to add to is when you're making an offer, and let's say it's whatever, $100 or $1,000, and the person is like thinking about it and saying, okay, can I justify spending X for that thing? And then all of a sudden it's like, I was contemplating saying yes. Now you're adding this and this and that thing, and again, that comes from $100 million offers and everybody else. He just breaks it down wonderfully, and Jason Fladley and does it in One to Many in talking about the psychology of the buyer if they're interested and they're on your page or they somehow came to you, however they did, and they're like, you know what, this thing really is good, and now they're justifying it because that's what human beings do, justify and rationalize. Is this worth the investment of X? But then, and I like to share, when I was getting my master's degree in hospitality management, one of my professors lived near me, and we both had to drive an hour and a half twice a week. For that particular class, we drove together. And obviously, you get to know somebody real well when you spend an hour and a half for a long time with them. And I remember him telling me a story that never left me. He had a client once, and he said, well, my services are going to be $5,000. And the client was like, well, I don't know, would you do it for like $4,000? And I think he was like, yeah, I'll do it for $4,000. And then the client comes back and says, well, if you're willing to do it for $4,000,
right,
well, maybe you're really only worth $3,000. What are you really worth? At the end of the day, I had somebody recently asked to write some copy, and I gave them a number that was quite big to write a sales page, like real big. And I did it intentionally, because I wasn't going to say, oh, I'll do it for this much because of whatever. This is what I get for me to give you the value that you need for you to go out and make a few $100,000 with that. And I wasn't going to discount it because there's no reason to, unless you have, I'm presenting to you a reason why. Again, one of my creators made this unbelievable design, and I looked at it and said, what if I had a real world example of what you could do with this scene, that you could customize it in 15 minutes and put it out pretty quick to the world and make a GIF and put it in an email and all the things that we teach people.
Yeah.
It's rather than telling them about it, it's like, look, let me just show you what we did. The whole process took us less than an hour from start to finish with this and a GIF and putting it in here and that. And we're playing with it. And yes, I'm going to go back and then I'm going to focus on how do I add value to the real price rather than discounting it? Because I don't want to discount stuff, because that's the thing. I will never pay more than X dollars for certain things because I know that either it's going to go on sale, like Udemy. My first course was on Udemy, and I valued the course at $200. Of the 1,700 people that bought my course on Udemy, one, I think, paid $200. Everybody else paid $15 because that's the Udemy model.
Exactly.
And you wait until every other week or what, like you wait to a certain time, that these things, and people wait and they wait in line, as opposed to our services as service providers, coaches, consultants, course creators, that I don't like to discount. If you look at any of the courses and programs that I created, they're not discounted. This is the price. And it was always adding some value and bonus to say, gosh, the program's valued, it's got it at $997, and I get an hour with him, and I get this and I get this. And the value added bonuses are worth like $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like Scott, when I was selling Atlas or whatever. I think it was I think it was mainly Atlas when I was speaking directly with the person, and the first ideas, and it was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do, and they're like, that's cool, and they were already there, like the price was already set. I didn't even tell them about all the other bonuses yet that I was going to add in. Okay, I think this was the time. I think this
Yeah,
was when yeah, this was when I was doing the first one when I was telling you like they're going to come in, they're not going to pay till later, and all that stuff, right?
right. I
I didn't tell
remember.
them any of that. I can say, here's what it's going to cost. Are you in for that? They're like, yes. And I go, and they're like, what do you mean and? Like, and you're not going to be able to, you're not going to have to pay me until whatever. Like,
Right.
holy crap!
Yeah.
But I'm not done yet. And if you don't like it, I'll give you your money. What? So and to me, it was such a no brainer, but reverse offer. It was like, I'm already in. You already told me what it's worth because and that's the thing, the key here is if I said to you, Scott, would you pay me $1,500 if I could get you $1,500 or $15,000?
Yes.
No brainer.
Yes.
So what's my job in that scenario?
To give me my $15,000.
To prove I can give you
Right.
$15,000. To
Yeah.
to sell the value that I can give you 15,000. So if I said if I can tell you how to make $15,000 in the next 30 days, would you pay 1,500 bucks for it?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that?
Be an idiot
Right?
not to.
Yeah, it's like so it's the value of what you're doing is you're setting up what the value is of the thing, and the price becomes mute. It's like, of course I would.
Yep.
If I asked you to, again, if I said to you, Scott, I'm going to give you a check, and my coach says this all the time. It's great. I'm going to give you a check that's worth $1 million, and um, there's no funny business. It's going to clear. Everything's going to clear. There's nothing funny about this. Would you pay me $100,000 for that check?
Yes.
Where are you going to come up with $100,000?
Doesn't matter. I'd find it. I
Right?
beg, borrow, and steal because I know, excuse me, I beg and borrow, wouldn't steal. I
Right.
beg and borrow and do whatever I could, knowing that I've got a 10x ROI that I
Exactly.
can take and give you that and get that back because it's like, okay, look, I need 10 grand from each of you. And tomorrow or next week, I'll give you back the 10 and I'll give you an extra 1,000 for your trouble
Yeah.
because
So
I'm making
you
$1
could
million.
so could you spin it, could you spin it on your software just as a polite challenge? Could you spin it on your software too? Could you say, look, if you wanted to make a Black Friday video like this, and what do you think that Black Friday, if you did a video like this, what would that bring into your business? Like
Yeah.
what revenue would you bring into your business? Would you agree that it would bring you an extra $1,000? Say, yeah. Would you pay me $100 for that to get that thousand? Yeah. Now you've just sold your software for $100 rather than discounting it,
Right.
correct?
I
Because you're
agree.
you're you're showcasing the value. If I
Right.
showed you how to do a video like this in 30 seconds that would bring in $1,000 extra in your revenue in your business tomorrow, would you pay me $100?
Yeah.
So it's different than discounting the whole thing, right?
I totally agree with you. I'm in total agreement.
Let's go to Lorna because she's got a question here. You talked about this a little bit. Would you talk more about the difference between discounting and offering a lower value of a course that is still in beta? Yes, I
Yeah.
can talk about this all day
Oh, yeah.
long
Yeah.
because the betas are different than an actual product that's out there that is a set price now that you're now discounting. So the beta is working with a unfinished product basically. It's unfinished and you're working with people who are buying into not only the lower entry point price, they're getting a deal for being there in a broken, unfinished product, building it with you. So there's a complete different mentality and different audience altogether, alpha audiences, right? Scott, you've done this a billion times too.
Yeah. Totally and completely agree. And discounting an offer, I agree with you totally, is when you've already got the value proposition, you've already got the price set, you've gone through, it's out there in the world, and then you decide, oh my God, we're not making sales, let's discount it.
Right.
That's the wrong way to go. The right way to go is how do I add more value to this to make it more valuable at the price it is, as opposed to beta. And perfect example, we're doing a beta release of a course January 10th. The course, as I said earlier, will be a $597, and I'll make sure the value is there. That justifies that because the guy that's doing it was like, I don't know, $497. I said, well, actually, If the beta is going to be 197 with the ultimate value at 597, that's easy for people to say, oh, that's a third. If I did it at 497 at the value and the 197, it's like, well, that's 2.5. It's like, no, that's a third. I could figure that out. 3 times is that. I'm getting it for a third. Great. Rather than, it's 40% of what's 40%. We don't. It's 62%. No, it's simple and it's in beta. And once it's out of beta, then it's at full price. Right?
Right.
Beta, you need beta with courses, with anything, because you need to get testimonials, you need to get the feedback. I remember even in my mindset years ago, it was listening to everybody, all the gurus, and it was like, okay, you need all this proof, and you need all this social proof, and you need all these testimonials. Like, well, how do you get that if you don't have it out there? You do a beta, and you get some people in, and you charge them.
Yeah, that's the biggest part. I'm glad you brought that up,
Yeah.
because so many people think that a beta is free because they can get testimonials from people. That's great, testimonial, fantastic, but that's not the key indicator that your product was valuable to them. I'm sorry, it's just not. You have to have someone pull out their wallet and say, "I'm paying you for this thing, and it's a value to me for the hard-earned money that I'm trading for being in this beta." And the discount or the gift or the lower price is how it starts, like you said, Scott. So move upwards. And you see me do this all the time. And anybody who's in my tribe sees this all the time. I don't mess around. I don't change. I don't go backwards. I used to. I've failed at this so many different ways,
Yeah.
almost more than anybody, about changing prices and going, oh, I don't know if that's the right price. Let me discount it now.
Here's the other piece about not doing it for free. When you let people in for free, first of all, they've got no skin in the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what? I don't feel like going today because I got yoga and it's not really important, but yoga's important. Or I got the kids' Little League game. Or. When you're invested in it, plus, and here's the thing, Joey, when a couple of years back, when you and I were having a conversation and it turned into the UMBO, which was, out of my butt offer, you're like, I'm going to do this thing called Right Marketing Copy. I don't even know if that was the name of it. And I was like, give me the offer. I want to buy it.
Right.
Why? Because if you said, hey, Scott, and we didn't even, if you was like, Scott, why don't you come in for free? That wasn't even a discussion. I wanted in because I knew the value of it, A. B, I wanted to be in the beta. And C, when I go out and say to somebody, you need to take Right Marketing Copy, I bought it.
Exactly.
As opposed to,
Exactly.
yeah, it's a good program. I got it for free. Well, if you got it for free, I got to pay for it.
Yeah, and I would feel even more guilty if you went out and talked about it and said it's amazing and all this, knowing that you didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
That to me is like, it's not authentic at all. It's great, but it's like, it's not authentic. When you actually give me the money, it was like, hey, everybody that's gone into that program paid for it, and whatever they say because they say it out of the goodness of their heart.
Well, it goes to, I see a lot of offers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at the proof part of a page and I see like, oh, I know him and I know him and I know her. Those are all your buddies.
Right.
Those aren't real people. That's it. Credibility gone.
Right.
Well, if it's Fred from so-and-so, like you and I were talking the other day and I was on a site and it was like someone from somewhere just bought the product. I'm like, really? Come on. That's just like I'm supposed to, or any of those things. I don't believe them. It may be real on some of them. And this Facebook user, I'm not sure who it is.
I was going to ask you who it is.
Black Friday retail marketing tactics. Who is this? Gosh, it's in one of the groups. I'm in one of the groups. Let me jump into the other one.
It's going to be either on my page or
I'm guessing in the LinkedIn's.
Yeah, I don't know. But,
anyway, whoever that is, I guess this is what's going on. Guess who? I don't know. I have no idea. Sounds like this conversation started from Black Friday.
Eddie. It's Eddie.
Oh, this Black Friday retail marketing tactics, isn't it? Oh, not well. You put up a post. If it's Eddie, yeah, you put up a post about it. But no, it's not a conversation based on that one. But it kind of relates to what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really here talking tonight about discounting and should you do it. And you and I are both fully in agreement that you should not discount. Again, unless there is a specific situation and you're testing 10 different things and you're launching thing after thing. But when it comes to your product, your service, your courses, your coaching program, no. And the only time to bring it to a price is when that's Eddie again.
Yeah.
You want to do a beta offer and you say it why. Here's why we're doing a beta. You're the first ones through it. We're going to give it our all. And I'm going to be asking you for testimonials. When we did the beta launch of Flex Music Encoder, I said, you're going to get it for $100 instead of $250 because you're the beta group. We haven't put it out there. We want you to test it. I need your feedback. I need to watch you using it. I need you to get on calls with us and answer my questions.
Right.
I want a beta group. This way I can grill them and they agree to get on calls with me. And I can say, how are you using it? What are your challenges? What's it done? What results do you get? I don't wait for them. That's
You know what?
movement.
Yeah. And, I want to bring up another point here I don't even know what to call it. The reverse discount. I don't know, whatever it is. You know how, like, first of all, I think we agree that by being the discount person or company, that you train your customers to wait, right? And I've already said it that I wait for many of the stuff that I buy. So you agree with that, right?
Totally.
Okay. So then if that's true, that people are waiting for you to discount whatever it is on, after Christmas sale, Boxing Day, whatever, then if you do it the other way and you say, look, this is a new product I'm putting out, it's $1,000.
Yep.
And you can only get it until whatever. You can do your scarcity, whatever you want to, in a nice way, in a cool way, right? You could do that. And here's what's going to happen. The value of this is going to be XYZ, $5,000. It's going to be $5,000. Who knows when, but it's going to be that. I'm moving toward that. And the next time you do that, you move it up, which is exactly what I teach in Atlas. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We move it up, and now it's $1,500. And the people who kind of sat on the fence going, whoa, wait a second. He wasn't kidding. So now it's $1,500. You say, look, it's ready until Saturday, $1,500 if you want in, but it's going to be $5,000, right? And you keep doing that until it gets to the $5,000 mark, whatever. What you're doing is you're actually, I hate the word to use train, but your audience knows that when you offer something else in the future that is a deal, it's a deal at that point.
Yeah.
And it's always a deal until it gets, and still it is until the, I guess, retail price. But you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say here, right? Is every time you offer that, it's like, oh, it's only $1,000 right now. It's going to be this, rather than it's $5,000. You can get it today for $1,000. Every single time is, wait a second, I missed out on the $1,000. Now it's $1,500. It's exactly the same thing that, Kajabi did when they came out, when they redid their thing, and the founder's price was whatever it was. And I was humming and hawing like, I don't know. Do I need another thing? This and that. And I missed out. And I was in the second round of it, knowing that, well, I can't go backwards now, and knowing that the price was going to go up again. And they did it, and they keep doing that. What do you think about it?
That's real scarcity. That's not playing around scarcity. And you kind of shied away from using the word training. And I had to train my audience. I inherited a group of 1,780 some odd people on a list. I've got that down to 397, by the way. I've gotten rid of everything that just didn't belong there. And what I found was, when we first launched our fast video creator software, the deal I had with the developer, because of his promises he made to this group in the past, was we'd give it to him for free. We also gave the opportunity for people to buy into it for life with upgrades, and we created this whole thing of value where you could get it for free or you could get it for $1,000. Now, a certain percentage of people went for the 1,000, and then we did a whole bunch of other things. Then I said, you will never see that again. And guess what? They have never seen that again. Then there were some people that were like, we didn't have the $1,000 to go with the whole thing. I said, okay, the software is going to be $297. Right now, I will give you this $297, and I'll put in these 2 plugins that are going to come down the road to provide value.
Right.
where
Right.
is going to be 297, and we did that.
Right.
And I said it's good until this period of
And you
time.
gave the plugins, by the way, to the people who bought before too.
Right,
Okay,
exactly. That
I want to
was,
make that clear because
yeah, they got all of that.
yeah,
This was just a little subset of saying, people were like, hey, I don't have $1,000, but I really want to get in. When your people say that, you get creative and say, okay. And we came up with that and just took a couple of little pieces out. So the people that paid 1,000 were like, geez, we got a value. They only got this for this. And then that ended. And anybody that came in after is paying the 297 plus the annual license plus any upgrade, which is what software is. They know, they've been trained that here's the deal and it's over.
yeah. It's just yeah, it is true. Like even Lorna admits that when she bought Right Marketing Copy, she came in on the second round of it, which
Yeah,
wasn't a huge jump, but it was still a jump.
it
It
was a
was
job.
like you missed out on that one, and I told everybody that, and I'm very vocal about it, and I don't hide any of the prices. They say, well, whatever. They all know and they all see this. And it is training the audience, but in a good way. You're saying, look,
Well,
guys, I'm trying to give you the best value as possible here. Buy in now. And then sometimes you can, and you have to wait till the next one, but just know it's not going to be the price anymore.
well,
You
it's
know,
kind of like a great restaurant that has a certain number of seats, and you got to get a reservation. Like there's a restaurant, there's a documentary called Hero Dreams of Sushi. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Hero is a Japanese sushi chef who is the oldest living Michelin star award winner on the planet. He's like 92. He's been making sushi since he's been 10.
there's a lot
For
of sushi.
80, but for 83 years, how good do you think his sushi is?
Yeah.
You have to wait a year to get a reservation. Now, actually, you have to stay at the Park Hyatt in Japan, and the concierge is the only one that can get you a reservation. You don't wait for a discount. You hope that you have an opportunity to get into that. It's like in a rock concert. You could get the nosebleed seats, or you could pay a hell of a lot of money and get a backstage pass. Why? Because of the experience. They don't discount seats to a concert for your favorite artist. You'll do anything. You'll borrow the money, you'll beg for it because you want that experience. And that's what I think is the biggest challenge is that experience and the value of what's the result that they're going to get and what's it worth. And it's not, if
It's about marketing. Right. It comes down to what we talk about every week here, Scott. It's
it's
marketing in
all
my mind
about
because the,
marketing.
the first thing that people do is when something doesn't sell, they think it's too high. I've priced
Right.
it too high,
Yep.
and they start to go discount or whatever it is. I'm like, that's a big mistake. Like go the opposite way and look at, am I communicating the value? And you're probably not. And if you are, if you think you've nailed everything, it's amazing value, then add more value. That's the simple way of fixing it.
Well, and again, Joey, we've talked about this when I was in the speaking arena, and I was 3 times more expensive than anybody. Why? Because one of my coaches was like, you need to be charging more than anybody because of your unique experiences. And when you've got evangelists and champions out there saying, hey, you want to write copy, but you don't want to learn how to write copy, go take Right Marketing Copy. I don't think I put Right Marketing Copy or Write Copy in that sentence enough in that paragraph.
That's enough plug. That's enough plugs for Right Marketing Copy today.
Let me ask you a question about your feelings about something, Joey. There's a fella that I know in the video creation space who has sold assets over the years, and I love reading his emails. He's kind of like yours. He writes great emails. He's a great storyteller, and he had an offer for. He wrote a letter, and then he talked about Gary Bencivenga, and he quoted a few people that we know well that are the true greats. And I was like, okay. And his program, it was like the first 20 were $27, and the next 30 were $47, and then the
30.
next whatever the number was.
I love it.
And then the next 40 were this. And I was thinking about buying it, but then something happened and I went on to a different monitor and this. And I ended up, when I looked at it the next time, it was like, yeah, I would have bought it for $27. But I want to buy it for 37. I'm like, no, because I could have got it for 27. And I was like, wait a second. You still got books over here you haven't read yet. You got a backlog of books that Joey told you to read, and there's still books I want to read a second and third time. I don't need a copywriting course. That's what I do. It was good, but again, I looked at it was I couldn't get it for the 27, and I didn't take advantage of it. Then I ain't paying 37 for it.
Wow. So that was the reverse. That's the reverse of what I just talked about.
Yeah.
Like you had a reverse reaction to it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Are you done? Did you want to?
I wanted to put it out there because I wanted your opinion on that type of psychology in putting an offer out.
Here's what I think. It's Are you a loyal customer to that person?
No.
That's the point.
Well, let me take it back. Hold on, Joey. Over the years, he sold. What he did was he figured out how to go and scrape the Creative Commons sites.
Yep.
And he categorized things, and he would sell collections.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with them was you got the collections, then you had to go spend 100 hours sorting them and naming them because they were named, the image was named J52XCB81. I can't search for that and know that it was a woman in a red dress with a...
I could have told you that. It's I got that one too.
I know you got that. You got a code that I didn't get. And I couldn't afford the upsell to get the code book to interpret what they were. And I would buy his stuff because that's what I did. I bought assets.
Yeah.
Until I said, wait a second. His last thing, he was like going out and he sold $250,000 assets for like $500. And I bought them. It took me, I've got this somewhere. I think it took me like the better part of 4 days nonstop on a nonstop download to download $250,000 assets onto an external hard drive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just ran it. And then I had to unzip them all. And I think that took a week. I think it was like, I don't know, a few hundred hours, then to sort them the way they needed to be sorted, then to name them. So to me, I would rather say, you know what? I need a whole set of background images, and I'll give you $50 for them because I don't have 30 hours to go do all that whole process. That's where the value piece to me comes in. And I bought things from him over the years, but I haven't bought anything from him since. He came out with like...
But that's the point, Scott, is you're not a loyal customer. You're a customer of his. You're not a client.
I'm the same way you were with buying your software is, oh, that was a great deal. I look at that stuff and say, that's worth that much to me, as opposed to whatever you got, I'll take. I've talked about Jason Moffat, and I watched him in the Kajabi group. The guy knows what he's talking about from a marketing standpoint. And I followed him for a while, never bought anything. And then he made an offer for a copywriting program called Pencil Copy. And he hung out with Frank Kern for a lot of years in the Carltons. And I was like, okay, this guy, like you, has osmosized some great information. Let me hear what he has to say about it.
Yeah.
It's like Bond Helbert, who had the boron letters from his dad. I wanted to read those because I wanted to hear what Gary Helbert said to his son, who now has that information. And I bought his program for $197, and then he came out with another program like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks later. It was $1,000, and I bought it because I wanted his stuff.
Right. So that's where the loyalty came in. So if he puts out another offer, are you going to buy that offer too?
I probably would. Because
so that's the thing, Scott. The answer to me is, in this context is, if you're just buying something because it's an awesome deal, nothing wrong with getting an awesome deal. Like, I'm not saying don't. We're always looking for deals, but you're not a loyal customer of that person. Whereas the psychology is, that's why your reaction to the reverse, like raising the price thing, is as a negative.
Right.
On my tribe, it's still, they're still going to be like, oh, damn it, I should have got it. But I don't think I'm sure that there's got to be somebody, but normally there's people who are like, I'm in, like, I don't want to miss out again.
Right.
They're in a different mindset.
Well, and
And
again,
even I've had people even tell me this, that they say, I don't have the funds now, and I know it's going up, and I'm willing to, and when I can, I'll get in at that point. Like they already have put it in their mind that they're going to pay the full price of the thing because they don't know how long it's going to take for them to come up with whatever it is. That's a
well,
completely different mentality.
well, Joey, that's a completely different mentality because you, as a brilliant marketer, have set forth a value proposition that says, I'm going to give you back that $100,000 if you give me the 10,000 or whatever the numbers are. And that's where the decision is being made is I want this because I need the result, not this is a product that it would be cool to have. Like if I was like, crap, I have to learn how to write copy, and this guy's got a good course, and it's only 27 bucks. And if I study it, then I can go out and make a few $100s with it. That's not, it was more of, yeah, I'm interested because it was a good sales letter. It ended at that, as opposed to somebody that puts something out that I value, that I know is going to raise the value of me and what I can offer. And that's the huge difference here is it's the value piece. And again, discounting. I want to buy a new Cuisinart, okay, because my old one that I bought as a wedding and first anniversary gift for my former wife that I took because really it was a present for me. It's seen its years over like 30 some odd years, and I want to buy a new one. And why would I go pay 500 bucks for a new one when I know there'll be a sale that I get it for 300 bucks? That's a commodity thing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And so you're going to wait it out unless it was like critical for you to buy it today. You're going to wait it out.
Well, if there was like, oh my God, I'm starting a catering business and I've got a client that's going to pay me $20,000 to do a private party, I got to have a Cuisinart to make the special dish. Then it doesn't matter what it costs because I'm going to make 10 grand on that event. I need that tool to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what happens? Let's go back to the discount then. So, let's say you discounted something. Like, what are the, when you use the discount, when is it that you're going to use the discount? Because you said you're going to go back and go against the grain of what
Yeah.
you said at the beginning. So let's talk a little bit about that. And guys, or guys and gals, if you're here live, please let us know hashtag live or on the replay hashtag replay. Join in the conversation because we'd love to hear your thoughts about whether or not to discount or your thoughts on what you're doing, or maybe ask some questions and we can help you. Please join in the conversation. Let us know.
And Joey, just for anybody that's curious, that's Fig over there on my chair. And Fig is a French bulldog. And actually, Fig is one of our new avatars. We're conducting a study because we're going to be putting out a dog product soon. And so we decided to invest in a French bulldog. It was a great discount on the French
Yeah.
bulldog.
And Fig makes a lot of noise apparently.
Fig
Doesn't look
makes
like he's making a lot of noise now. He's awesome. Look at him.
Yeah, Fig's cool hanging out. No, just obviously kidding. Fig's not our avatar and we're not dog product, although who knows with our marketplace what we might do.
Better late than never, Angel, by the way.
Yeah, good to see you, Angel. And Joey, it's bright, shiny objects, I think, are where discounts come in because that course I talked about, there's a bright, shiny object. I didn't need it. Was just more curious to be like, okay, here's another something I could have in my arsenal. Like you and I have got more books than we just keep buying them because we love to learn every day and new things. Now, when I go look at books, a book is a book is a book. Am I going to pay $20 for the book or do I get the same book for $10? I don't have, somebody told me to go get the book. Well, why would I pay 20 when it's 10? There's an argument there of discounting there. I think that discounting is just never the way to go unless there's a specific reason for it. Like,
but everybody can argue that the reason for their reason is right. Their reason is, and again, it's not that we are right. Like I don't want to take
no,
that soapbox position. It's just our opinion, or my opinion. I shouldn't put words in your mouth, but it's anytime I speak to somebody about the discounting part, they believe that that's the right thing to do, and I'm just challenging them, saying, well, what if you didn't do that? What if you did it the other way? Because the first thing is it's too high or whatever, like I said,
Right.
or uh, people aren't going to pay that, and or nobody's clicking into the offer or whatever, they're not paying it, and it's like, well, maybe it's not the price. Maybe it's just about the value. Like it's how you demonstrate the value, how you communicate the value. I keep coming back to that because of I find that many people don't put enough effort into that,
Yeah.
into how do I describe this? Do I have this right? I don't think this has happened lately, but I do remember it happening where I actually went back to the audience, and it was something. It wasn't like why didn't you buy thingy, because it was during a process, and but I said to them, so what did you think about this? And for whatever reason, it was all like they weren't buying it. And like, what would make you buy it? So I wanted them to give me the value. Like, what do I need to do to put you in this car today? Right? What do I need to do
What do I
to
need to do? You're to drive this car away today.
yeah, what do I need to do to make you buy this? But it wasn't but it was that was basically the idea. Is like, well, what would make you buy this?
Yeah.
And it was, and I don't know if that's the right, and this is many, many, many years ago. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Maybe it's a great tactic to use again now. I don't know, but it gave me insight. And at that point, I was off the mark. Like it wasn't something that they wanted. It was like really not interested in it because of this, and this. And this was maybe before I was doing major deep research too. So I told you the story basically to say the value wasn't there, but also the right offer wasn't there. So by changing the price wouldn't have done anything.
No.
Opinions are like bum holes. Everyone has one. take, take it or leave it. Exactly. I'm one of those bum holes. I got opinions everywhere. Um, I had someone tell me
One
years
event,
ago to add value, not discount. Exactly right.
yeah,
Jeff Walker has been one who is against discounting. I agree with adding value. It's so much easier to add value than it is to discount. It's so much easier, especially like us, Scott. We have a lot of assets in
yeah,
our arsenal. It's so much easier to pull something out and say, "Here, I'm going to give you this thing," and that comes to another thing I want to talk about, which is, because now we're in Black Friday, and man, I mean, I see them, and the some of the marketing is this is stuff that my clients pay ten thousands of dollars for,
yeah,
and that really gets under my nerves, because
yeah.
if I was one of those clients, say, wait a second, like I paid you that $10,000, and now you're giving it away for $10.
Right. When we see some of the value stacks by some of the big guys, and they're like, well, I'm going to give you this bonus that only my VIP upper echelon paid $30,000 a piece to be at this live event. You're going to get that for free.
Exactly.
Well, I paid 30 grand to be at your event for 2 days and this, and you just gave it away for somebody as a bonus for a 997. I'd be a little bit upset that I gave that much money.
Yeah, and those are usually spent in, this is a private event, $30,000, that where you're coming there. There's only 100 people in it. The reason we're
Right.
doing this, blah 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 blah
Yep.
blah, and now you're giving away the thing for free. I to that level, um, for all transparency. Like when I'm talking about giving something that was in my private client area, my private clients, like Atlas was the one. So let me spin that, and I'll explain it, and you tell me if I'm what you think. And so when I said, look, here's the thing that I'm going to teach you. I've only taught it to my private clients. I never said my private clients paid me
Right.
$10,000 for this material, but I didn't even tell them my private clients pay me, $25,000 a minute. There was nothing like that, but even if I did do that, it still would translate in my mind, because it's like, look, I've only taught this to this group, and I never said to that group that I'm only going to teach this, and I'm never going to teach it again. But that's how I spun it. It was, look, this was only taught privately, and now I want to teach it to you,
Yeah.
and here's why this is worth this much money. What do you think about that?
I totally agree with that because nobody is slighted in that. Nobody feels cheated.
Right.
You're providing more value with something that you only gave to a select group of people, but you didn't put a value that they paid this much for it.
Yeah.
Like, for
Yeah.
example, one of our products that was launched was I valued it at 250, which the creator of it wanted, like I said earlier, wanted to charge like nothing for it. And I was like, I don't do that. That's not the game I'm playing. And we launched it, and a couple of people that came in after the fact wanted to get it. And somebody asked if they could get a discount on it. And he said, no, we're not playing the JV Zoo game. This is the price it is. And there was no discounting it. It was, here is the value of it. I can justify the value of this product and I don't have to discount it. Why? Because when you know your dream client, when you know their situation, when you know that your product, service, offer, idea, program, whatever it is, can definitely solve their problem, take their pain away, give them the result that they're looking for. They're not looking for, well, it's kind of like I used the analogy in the past many years ago. I chipped one of my back teeth and I was actually out speaking. And the last day is when it happened. And I spoke for a full day with my tongue rubbing against the sharp, cracked tooth. By the time I got home on the weekend, my tongue was raw. I could barely talk. And I had to go back out Monday again to speak again. When I called my dentist was away somewhere in the Caribbean. And I was like, well, is there anybody covering? Well, no. Okay. Back then, I opened the yellow pages. I was not looking for discount dentists or economy dentists or, who's got the best. I wanted somebody that could take that pain away immediately,
Right.
fix the tooth so that I could go speak again on Monday. Price was irrelevant. And that's where that story comes in, is price is irrelevant when they have a situation that you can take them to that dream island to. Now again, I'm not saying, well, you charge them $100,000 for everybody else is charging $1,000. Well, unless you can justify $100,000, because, oh, by the way, for $100,000, I'll take you on a private Gulfstream to the private island, and I'll put you with 5 of the top people who will transform your life. And by the end of your week, after spending that $100,000, you'll go back and you'll 10x your business and make $5 million. Then it's worth $100,000.
So let's talk about the discount. So why are you discounting this product coming up now? So because everybody joining didn't hear you at the beginning.
Why am I discounting Fast Track Creator?
Yeah.
Okay. Reason one is I wanted to take a scene that one of my creators made based on an ad, and I wanted to do something with it. And I wanted to have a real world example of what a Black Friday, because I've never done a Black Friday. And for 3 days, I'm going to give them the opportunity to promote it for an affiliate commission. It's not an offer to my people for a discount. It's an offer for them to go out and make a little bit of money and to get my software out there to more people to test the marketplace, to test the process. That's what the reason is.
Okay, so let me clarify this. So everybody, from what I'm hearing, the software is not out yet, really, to the public. It's not a public software. That's number one. Number B is that it's not, you're not discounting a product that's like already out there. It's not like the software example that I gave. Like every year, the thing's like it's going to be there. It's going to. I'm waiting for a discount. It's available all year round, and you're just going, well, it's Black Friday. May as well discount the thing. It's not that. This is a specific strategy to do a couple of things, which is to get it in front of people quicker, and for the affiliates to make some money to help for them, right? Which gives them a little bit of gives them revenue, first of all, but it also gives them some confidence on anything that you give them in the future too, to promote.
It also, letter D,
right?
It also
Well, no, correct you. It's letter 4, by the way.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Letter four. I realized that after I said it. Thank you for keeping me honest. Uh,
I
Yes.
totally screwed you up now.
Letter four, exactly. I'm trying to, letter four. Congratulations, you got me back finally. Letter four is we have a whole new affiliate program and a whole affiliate system that we've designed, and I've tested it. But guess what? I'm not going to do what all these people are. I want my people to get some of their people out. And if there's something that's not working, I can fix it within my people instead of going to somebody and saying, "Hey, we want to put, we're gonna throw a whole bunch of money behind this, and we're gonna do whatever or whatever the next marketing ploy is." I want to make sure that everything's tested. It's kind of a beta,
Yeah, I
and
was going to say it's kind of like a beta launch almost.
it just happened. If it was December 4th, there'd be no Black Friday. There'd be no discount. It just happened to be this, and I saw it and came up with it. It wasn't a planned discount thing. And again, once Sunday at midnight hits, boom, done. It's back to the price, and there's already value added to it. And then I'll figure out what's the next value I can add till I figure out what's the best offer on value add. I've got hundreds of assets like you do that I can say, hey, let me give you this, this, and this that's worth $500. Like I can give you flexible music tracks to use in the software to make perfectly edited music in 10 seconds. I can give you, because I already paid for them. I've already sold them, already made my money. It will cost me nothing to do that. And they'll go,
Exactly.
holy crap.
Yeah.
And then they're in the marketplace and they're in there buying things. And then they're a loyal user and a client. I'm kind of using this is to get them into the machine, into the marketplace, into the software, into the suite, into the group, into everything. Just another way of bringing them in because, Joey, we've got so many different avenues that people come in to. If I
Well,
was,
but also to that point, I know what you're saying, but also I'm gonna be the devil's advocate and say that that's where a lot of people will also just use the low dollar offer thingy or a discount thing because they want to get them into their ecosystem. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's the right strategy. I'm not saying for what you just said, but
yeah,
for a lot of marketers they don't have the major strategy behind the entire thing. It's just like, okay, well, I'll discount it. You're bringing in a discounted person at the outset, and they're in this ecosystem now waiting for another discount.
right,
Whereas when I'm doing it, they're coming in, here's the price, and that's it.
yeah,
And by the way, it's going to be going up. And
right.
then it's like, yeah, you're full of crap because you're like every other marketer. And then like, holy crap, he wasn't full of crap.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
again, going back to training, and I mentioned the PowerPoint course that we did the free thing and that was our discussion last week where you challenged me in a good way and giving it some thought. Where again, the program will ultimately be 597. It's going to be 197. There's a half a billion PowerPoint users making 30 million PowerPoint presentations a day. I'm looking for the one whose boss says, I got to make a presentation to fill in the blank, the board, the company, the team, the investors, whatever. And what can you do to make this amazing? Well, there's this product out there that will help me do some way cool things, or to help me make better videos, or that will save me so much time. And I could even sell them if I wanted to. Then there's nothing about a discount there. The beta program is 197. I will give it to my people. I don't know. Tomorrow I'll wake up and decide if I'm going to do a Black Friday with it. I don't know yet. But again, my limited people, I may get 20, 30 people to get in at $100. And then it's 150. And then
well,
January.
you could also, I mean, you could utilize, I guess, what people are looking for in their inbox,
Yeah.
which is Black Friday deals. And your Black Friday deal could basically, it doesn't have to always be just a discount. In
Good
your
point.
case, why not? What do you think of, here's a Black Friday deal on this thing that we haven't even released yet,
Yeah.
and it's going to be 597, and you can have it for 197 today. Just reserve it. That's the
Yeah.
Black Friday deal.
Yeah.
Like they're buying it before it's even released, and say you can have it now. You can buy it, and then you can come on Monday watch the thing, and if it doesn't resonate with you, I'll give you back your 197. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of a total different kind of
Yeah. I
way
mean,
of they're still
and,
getting a Black Friday deal. Like, wow, that's kind of a cool idea.
and Joey, sorry. But Joey, the beauty of that is when we look at it from so many different ways, rather than just saying, well, let me discount it. And do what we do is play with it and look at it and go see what and test it. And just all those different, the way you do it, the way the gifting and that, and hey, it's going to be 597. I'm going to let you in for 197. You want to reserve it, whatever. Reserve it for this. Give me $100, reserve it. And when you come to the class after the first day, if you don't think it's worth the 197, don't give me the other one, and I'll give you your money back, and we'll call it a day. Now I've got my 100, add another 100, and I'm still paying 197 instead of 597. And then it's a win everywhere. It's another way of looking at it. And I think what we're talking about tonight is not looking at discounting, but looking at how do we frame it, the value
Yeah,
proposition.
that's a way better way of doing it. Like, how do we frame this gift, this offer, giving people a break and all that, and not taking a product that's on the shelf and saying, "Let me just bring in more money today and
Right.
discounting," and everybody who bought it, like, what the hell, you know?
Well, it goes back to the last show that we talked about. Was it last one of the week before? Was my offer is not selling? Why?
Right.
We didn't go back to we never talked about the price of it. I don't think it was all about everything but that. We never
Yeah.
talked about we talked about the value proposition. How do
Yeah.
we make all this more fun?
You're not having fun? I'm having a ball.
I'm always having a ball here. I'm shocked at how we get to the top of the hour and it was just like we just started 5 minutes ago.
It's amazing. You know, any final thoughts on
Well, yeah, I'm gonna kind of answer Angel's question is how do we make it fun? How do
Oh,
we
there
make
she is. It's a little bit more
and I know I was answering it without her answering it. How do we make the value proposition more fun? And how do we make it more interesting and exciting? It's by doing what we're doing, Joey, is instead of like, Joey, how much do you think I should take off? It's like, no, Joey, how much do you think I should add? And when I was like, okay, well, what if I said it's 197, you give me 97 now to reserve your spot, and then you give me another 99 after the first day? Or it's like you did with Atlas. It's like, hey, the program's 1,500 or 2 grand or 3 or 5 or 12. Don't give me any money right now. Reserve your spot or reserve your spot for $100 or whatever you want to. Now we're playing and having fun with different possibilities and throwing it out there and testing. It's testing. It's kind of like when postcards was my thing, and we tested the living daylights out of it with different things and changing this and changing that. Get a control and then play with it from there with going this way, never this way.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why when I was doing webinars, I shouldn't say always, but I started to lean toward as the end of my webinar era was coming that I didn't know of, but putting the price right up front in the first 3 slides. It was like, here's what you're going to learn today. By the way, there's going to be an offer, and it's $1,000, and the rest of the 45 minutes that we're together, I'm going to prove why this is worth $1,000. And by the way, you don't have to buy it because the next 45 minutes is still going to teach you a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need the $1,000 product. But that's the reason why we're here, is for me to give you all this value. And if you think it's a value and you want to go a step further, the product is $1,000. So they were already bought in by the
Right,
time they got to the offer. And then it doesn't mean I can't add other stuff, bonuses and all that, but they were already like, okay, it's $1,000. I know he does. Then there was no discount. There was no like, hey, I told you $1,000 at the beginning. Remember? Well, guess what? It's only $500. So buy
right.
now. I didn't do any of that. It was like, you're already in for $1,000. By the way, I know there's a couple things that I'm missing in the thing. I'm gonna give you this that's worth $500. I'm gonna give you all this other thing that's worth another $500. So I'll give you $1,000 worth of product, and you'll still pay me the only the $1,000. So there's a different frame of it, and that's what I'm where my at least my perspective is, and how I'm able to sell things easily because people are buying into I believe he can give me the thing that he's promising, the dream island, which comes back to you, Angel, which is what is the proposition? Like, how are you delivering that value up front? Can you show them that piece of paper that Scott always puts up and says, if I flip this over, it's worth $15,000. Will you
Yeah,
give me $1,500 for this piece of paper?
right, exactly. Joey, I want to kind of recap what you've been saying here. What we've been saying is, if we start with the value proposition, if we start with the offer and say, on its own, does this give the value? If I'm going to charge X for this, will they get the result that they can sit and say, you know what, excuse me, that's worth it? But then now, instead of thinking discount, let's go the other way and think, what can I add on top of that? And I'll go back to the dating analogy because it still works in everything. Is if you show up for a date and you just show up, and but if you did a little research and found out that his or her favorite beverage is such, or they love little trinkets, and you stopped at the store and spent 15 cents or $1 on this little trinket that's a frog magnet because they're into frogs, or you found out what their favorite music was and you got a CD, or you did all these things and it was like, holy crap, this experience with this person is going to be amazing. I can't wait to find out what happens next. That's adding fun by saying, okay, this is going to be interesting. And you're thinking about, how do I, it goes back to a show a few weeks ago, how do we love our buyers, users, clients?
Yeah, how do you love the clients?
And that's how you love on them, is what can I do to make your life so much more amazing?
How do you make it fun, Angel? I'm interested. Maybe you can give us some tips on how to make it fun. I'd love to hear your experience on that, so I can steal some of that and use it myself.
Well, you got to get some funny glasses. You got to do some really funky backgrounds. You got to be like crazy, funny, silly, loving. And you got to give Angel frogs because Angel loves frogs and hearts. And Angel's got a personality. She's got an omnipresence. You see Angel on screen and you're like, oh, this is going to be fun. She's going to be fun. And yeah, her energy does it because she doesn't come on. And again, she's just always doing something fun, and you're going to get fun with Angel. They're synonymous
Very
because
cool.
she works at it.
Yeah, yeah. She plays hard.
Yeah, we don't work, we play hard.
And this one I love. I mean, this is what we're all about. Is a big hit. I'm always. I mean, when I think about that, I'm like over 50. I'm thinking, holy crap! I don't even feel over 30. I still do backflips and laugh uncontrollably at Bugs Bunny cartoons.
You do
It's
backflips? Can we get a video? You see my
you can,
plank.
yeah, I do have a video of me doing a backflip. I'll send it to you if you
I
think I'm
want to
kidding.
see it because I've been doing my planks. We're on day 23 of Planksgiving. We've done planks every day. Anyway,
That's
yeah,
so cool.
it's Joey. It's about showing up and having fun, and it's passion. And it goes to, I don't know who this is, but you got to build the economic engine. You got to be passionate about what you're doing, and you got to strive to be the best you can in your space and doing what you do, and have fun with it. Because if it ain't fun, why bother?
Yeah, and I agree. If it ain't fun, if you don't love the people you're working with, then life is way too short to do anything else. So
And if you
that
discount, you're going to end up with people that are always looking for a discount, and you're not going to have dream clients because they're not going to buy your stuff. And if you raise your prices, they're going to go, wait a second. What do you mean you're raising your prices? It's always discounted. Now you're raising your prices. I'm going to wait until you discount it. If they know that the price is always going to go up and that you're not discounting it, well, they're going to be like, crap, I should have gotten in. I was one of the lucky ones. I was the first one in Right Marketing Copy.
you were.
Now I get to get into it whenever I want and join it. And that alone was worth the $8,000 I paid.
Exactly. And you saw the price go up, right? So everybody that got in at the lower prices, even if it was, the second lowest price, they still saw the price go up and like, hey man, I really got a deal out of this. And still, it doesn't mean that the people getting in at the top price are not getting value. They're being ripped off. That's not the thing.
No,
It's just worth it at that point. And they happen to be the laggards that need more proof or waiting time or whatever it is to buy in, and that's totally cool. It's not that they don't get the value. In fact, I believe they get more value because it has nothing to do with the price. If you only want to look at price, yeah, you paid more, but you get way more value because of all the additions that has happened from day one of the beta moving upwards to make the product the way it was, the way it is.
Yeah, I remember, Joey, I was in California listening. I think it was Tracy Childers' seminar, and they were talking about a pitch on the platform that you use. And basically, we love you too, Angel. It came to
I
when you
gotcha.
were making your pitch, it was using the successful people make important decisions fast and change their minds slowly. Unsuccessful people make important decisions slowly and change their minds quickly. And then it goes to, have you ever had an opportunity come in front of you and you waited too long and the opportunity went away and you're like, crap? Well, that's because you waited too long to make a decision and then you change your mind real quick, as opposed to, holy crap, that's an opportunity that's going to help me. I better go take advantage of it now because it may not be there or it's going to be a higher price. And that's good scarcity to use in marketing, because it's like, look, I want you to do this. I'm going to make it as easy as I can for you to get into this thing. That doesn't mean I'm discounting it. I just might make it easy for you to get results first before you give me any money or give me a little bit of money. You know, from the moment we met, my biggest thing was, hey, charge more. Hey, charge more. Hey, charge more. And you and I joke because sometimes I'll say, hey, charge more. And you're like, you can't just charge more for the sake of charging more. Like, no, it's like, I think I may have done this before. This fizzy water bottle, I think I could buy a replacement for $18. I wouldn't go to the company and say, you should sell these for $500 because I think you can. No, it would be stupid. But again, let's look at these device thingies that, how much is the new Apple phone thingy?
I don't know. This one here, $1,300. I don't know, something like that.
$1,300, and people wait in line to pay $1,300 when they could get one of these for, I don't even know what I paid for it when I paid for it. Because to me, I don't care when there's $1 billion in the bank. I am not going to spend 13. It's just,
yeah, because it's not of value to you.
Exactly, it's not a value, and that's where it's so vital is the dream client. You provide value to them. If you try and discount something to not your dream audience, doesn't make a difference. Maybe some of them will buy the thing, but again, they're not going to be in your ecosystem. They're not going to be a lifetime buyer of your product and service. They're not going to be loyal to you, because the next guy that comes down the pike with a phone that's cheaper than this one, I'll go buy that one.
Yeah, and like you said, you're training that clientele or that audience to wait for discounts. And the other thing is the discount, the less profit you make. Like, we haven't even talked about that. You're discounting your product,
Yeah.
and if it's a digital product, you haven't even thought about the merchant fees. You haven't thought about all the other stuff, like the stuff that actually delivers it. You think it's all, sitting there. Well, I bought Kajabi. Well, there's a cost to it. There's a cost to having Kajabi there.
Yeah.
All of those things add up. If you discount and say, well, it's 50% off, and you sold it for $100, you didn't make $100. There's all these other costs and putting the lights on and all these other things. So that's why it's always better to have that higher price, because you have more profit, which you can do more with. And if you want, and this is a whole other topic, maybe we'll talk about this next week, but one of the biggest things, the good objections, I guess, to lower prices or discounts to get people in is because we want to help people who can't afford the higher price, the thousands of dollars, and we want to help them. So that's the reasoning. Well, I'll just discount it and make it easy for those people to get in, and because we want to help. And I understand that. However, if you worked with dream clients, you're working with less people because you have a higher price, and your energy is not scattered now trying to do discounts and trying to fill funnels and leads and all this other stuff that allows you to go out into the world and do stuff like we're doing right now for free, to deliver for free
Right.
to people who may or may not be able to afford what we offer at this point and are just chilling out and just getting value, hopefully, from what we're doing.
Right. And I agree with you totally, Joey, and again, I'll go back to $100 million offers where he talks about what if you looked at your first offer and made it really expensive, or put the value and delivered the value. And whether it's getting on a call with them, whether it's taking them by the hand and doing whatever it is, whether it's getting on and walking side by side with them and showing them how to do things so they succeed. Like
Right, right.
I could theoretically sell my software for $5,000. And you'd be like, well, wait a Scott, it's $297. How are you going to sell for $5,000? Why? Because for 5 days, I'm going to get on a call with your team and my team, and we're going to teach you how to make 100 videos that you can resell to your clients, or videos for your clients that you're going to go out and charge $50,000 for. Now it's worth that.
Yeah, and you know what? And thank you, Angel, for this. By the way, I really appreciate and love you for that. Thank you. You brought up a big point, Scott, and man, you just started a whole brand new conversation. I know we can't go forever here because I know you need to go. You did a whole huge day,
Yeah.
but this is so important about what you just said because you know like how many conversations I have every week
Oh, yeah.
about
Yeah.
people that want to move into this and they're
Yep.
well I don't think I can charge that much. I'm just going to use $1,000 as a
Right.
base point. I don't think $1,000 I can charge for this because XYZ, and I'm trying to say, well, yes, you can. And we're talking about value, but at the beginning of it, it's what you said is you have the ability to over deliver at the beginning of your business, right? Because whether or not you think you have time, we all think I got no time. That's not true. It's like you're not doing the right things with the time. If you did the right things with the time, you would have enough time. And productively, if you're looking at building the business, whether it's like, well, I'm going to sell this $47 thing over here, and I'm saying, well, why don't you do $1,000 instead of getting whatever the math is to get $1,000 for 47,
Right.
whatever the hell it is, right? Instead of getting that many people, you can get one person, or
21.
maybe two people and get $2,000. Would that be easier? Yes, it would
Yeah.
be. And then to your point, it is okay at the end of that, because if they're saying, well, what if they don't get the value, or maybe I don't deliver the value, something like that. Well, it's very easy. Say, Scott, did you get the value from what I promised you? Is there
Right.
anything that's missing? And
Yeah.
Scott might say, this was amazing. Or Scott might say, yeah, this is kind of missing here. I'm not really, sure about this. And boom, you just add in a couple more values. Say, what can I do to help you move forward in this product or in this process or in this service? What
Yeah.
more can I do for you right now? Just like, what's his name again? $100 million guy,
Alex.
Alex.
Yep.
Alex, right?
Yep.
So it's like just like that. It's like, okay, let me go walk in. Let me fly down and help you do this. Let me write the flyers for you, whatever it is, because you have that time to invest in the client to make that offer the best it can ever be.
Well, I mean, and to go on that, one of the analogies of what he talks about is, and he uses the weight loss space and teaching people how to eat. And he's like, well, okay, at this level, I'm going to come and take a group of you to the supermarket, and I'm going to teach you how to read labels, and I'm going to show you what's good food and what's bad food. And then he charges a lot for that. And then he can back off and say, I'll do a Zoom call with you, or I'll create an app that enables you to do things. And so he first
Yeah,
gets
but
up.
when he started though, Scott, he was in it. He didn't know what it was going to do. He goes, this is what the offer is.
Right.
And he said to himself, I'll do anything it takes in order to make them successful. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Say that again. Willing
You will
to
do whatever it takes to make them successful.
exactly.
And that's where I'm saying every time I teach Atlas, I'm like, you have to invest in your clients. That's the reason we do small cohorts. That's the reason it's not 5,000 people. It's only 5 people, maybe. And because you can invest your time with them. And yes, eventually you can scale it and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of that cohort or whatever it is, and you say to them, so did you get the value? Like, what's missing? What's happening? Like, tell me, give me some feedback, like, and no harm done. And, no disrespect or anything. And
Yeah.
they tell you, and if they all say, yeah, it really didn't feel like it was worth $1,000 I paid. Okay, then let's make it worth 1,000.
Right.
What do I need to do to
What
make
do I need
1,000?
to do to
Right?
give you that value?
Pardon me?
I'm agreeing with you. What
Yeah.
do I need to do to give you that value that you didn't feel you got? I'll give you a real live example. The yoga studio, I've been trying to learn a program called Brandbot, which is Active Campaign and email, MailChimp and One Shopping Cart and Infusionsoft, their version that interacts with the fitness software.
Yep.
And it's horrible.
Yep.
And the owner basically sent them an email and said, I'm getting rid of this thing. It's just really bad. Well, they were smart and they got their new director of support services, or though, who got on a call with us earlier and said, our goal is to be best in class support. I said, well, you got a pretty big hurdle to go to because right now you ain't even close to good. And I explained exactly from experience and that what's wrong and why it's no good. And he said, here's what they're going to do to fix it. Now, I have to see if he's going to follow through, because I was like, I can't figure out how to use your email editor. And I've used 9 email editors and have probably sent thousands of emails, and I can get in and out of them. Today, I had to do one for our launch, and it took me 10 minutes to write something to invite people to a live event tomorrow to teach them how to use the referral program, which is real simple. And it took me like 5 minutes. This one I've been struggling with for weeks. And I was like, you told me to go watch a webinar. We're paying a bunch of money a month for this service. And you told me to go watch a webinar, that this was the place to go. I said, I know what I'm talking about. I've used this and that. Tell me how I can get the answers I need. And rather than saying, well, why don't you jump on with one of our support people? They're like, well, watch webinar 101. And I said, I don't know who recorded that, but you totally wasted an hour of my life I'll never get back, because what you put on there could have been said in 5 minutes, Jeffersonization. And then they're like, well, we'll book you with a support specialist. I said, great. And they give me the calendar, and it's 9 days from now. I said, how's that going to help me today to solve the problem I have? And we got, on the call, he was like, well, let me see if I can get a hold of somebody and get, it was just, how many hoops should your client have to jump through to get the results, instead of how do you make it so easy for them to get the results? And as we know, if somebody wanted to lose 50 pounds and you said, oh, in this thing, if you buy this jar and you take it, you'll lose your 50 pounds within a week. It didn't matter what this costs, you'd buy it for the result. And it's always about the result and the value of the result to that person. Again, to somebody who is a multi-billionaire and is struggling with something, simplify it. Yep, that's what Joey's all about. I'm about multiplying. Joey's about simplifying.
Yeah, it's about simplifying it, but it's, and the other side of it is, are you willing to invest in your clients? And that's where dream clients come in. That's where even Angel said that she loves the people she works with. That's fantastic. There's not a lot of people who can say that, unfortunately. But if you love the clients, if you would spend the rest of your life on a deserted island with them, then that is a dream client, because it's like you just love being with those people with that energy and all of that. It's not because of the money. And to your point, when you're talking about the the result and investing in your client, especially at the beginning, I think that's where you can easily add the value. The value is you to figure out how to make their investment worth the money that they paid. It's very rare, Scott, would you agree, that even if somebody, first of all, if you've kind of done the dream client work at the beginning and you got them into a program of some kind, it's very rare that they're going to be at the end of that saying, this totally sucked. Like they're not really going to say that. I haven't really had it happen. I've had people say, well, it'd be cool if we could do this or we could do that. Not to the degree of, give me all my money back. This totally sucked. Or you owe me that X amount of things. It was always me pushing the envelope, saying, what more could I do? And even though I'm pushing it, a lot of times it would be nothing. Like, it's all good. Everything's fantastic. And that is how you continuously increase the prices, by constantly working with a small group of people and saying, what is this worth? Is this worth this to you? And don't be afraid of having that negative feedback to say, no, it's not worth this. Okay, then how can I make it worth it? Right?
Yep.
Be vulnerable. Ask your clients.
Okay, we're at the top of the hour once again, Joey.
We are, my friend. Thank you again for another night. We are at number 95. We're going into number 96, I believe, as we cruise on into December of 2021. Thank you, everybody, for being here live and on the replay. Hashtag live or hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. Excuse me. And if you liked what we did or doing, please give us a thumbs up or heart or some kind of indication that to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn that we're doing an okay job every single Tuesday night. We'll see you next Tuesday night.